Hello, welcome back to Stackhouse Knives. I'm Shea Stackhouse, down here in Wellington, New Zealand. Today I'm going to be forging myself a maker's mark or a touch mark. I don't really have one, and I've been suggested by a lot of people to make a touch mark. I've usually used a little Dremel tool or a rotary tool to grind and carve away my little symbol for my knives. Today I'm going to be using this BMW spring, and this will be my punch steel. Once I've straightened it out, flattened it out, I've got to forge a taper, really long taper on one end. The nose of that piece will have the stamp on it, and then the other end of the tool will have a slightly more obtuse angle, which is going to be good for centering that punch when I go to punch the piece. There's nothing else to it really. Let's chop a piece of the steel off, chuck it in the fire, and get it really hot, and forge it out. So as you've seen from the footage, we now have our punch drawn out. Why I've made the tool so long is so that I don't absorb or get burnt by any of the radiant heat from the piece when I go to stamp it. So I've got a nice long area between my hand, the danger zone, and the piece that I'm going to be stamping. Also, when I was forging, we've got a little bit of cupping effect forming. That naturally happens. That needs to be ground away nice and flat, because this is where we're going to put our carved shape in for our stamp. Also on the other end there's a little bit more tidy up work to go, but the tool is pretty centered. I've rolled it around just to feel, make sure it's nice and centered, but overall it's going to be a really nice stamp. Here it's really lovely. Instead of a octagon, I decided to do a bit of a hex shape just because I felt like it, and it's got to look really nice when I go to put my stamp on there. I might round this off, these shoulders and corners off, we'll see. After we've got our face carved, it's going to be polished, and I'm going to come in with a Dremel tool and carve away to make my mark or my stamp. This will create a negative of what my impression is going to be, and when I'm making stamps or any kind of tool, I like to have a piece of clay or plastilina and push that onto the surface so that I can get an idea of how deep that piece is. Because if the carving is inconsistent, when I push that onto the plastilina, I will see where I need to carve more or where I need to hold off and carve a lot less. That gives me a really good idea. So that's pretty much the video. I've just put the tool in some beeswax, which is nicely sealing. As you can see, the draw temper has travelled and has sort of seized and stopped at that nice straw yellow colour towards the end of the tool. That's good hardness, and the rest of this is toughness. Just have a quick close up of the tool. See that nice, gorgeous colours. That makes a good tool. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Shea Stackhouse, and have an awesome day. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you know what to do. Smash that like button and the subscribe button with a massive